What's up, YouTube? Today we're going to go over the top 5 most rigged moments against the Raiders in the 2021 season. We know these refs are sketchy as hell. Last year you had some refs caught with their hot mic saying, hey, just call holding on this guy anyway.
66. It was on. Well, let's just say it was
Yeah, well. Cut that mic.
So these guys should not be trusted. There's been certain points in the year where you feel like refs might as well go ahead and do the Lambeau leap. And our guy Jon Gruden is also suing the NFL trying to fight back after that hit job against him.
This is an agenda by the league to take down Gruden. This is a mafia hit on Gruden. That's what it is.
And the NFL has always been against the Raiders because of the legacy of Al Davis. By the way, guys, most people are too scared to touch this. Most people will not address this topic at all, but I have no fear as long as I have you behind me. So make sure you subscribe to this channel, hit that like button. It really helps me out. Either way, let's get into the top 5 most rigged moments against the Raiders. Number 5 on my list is Marlon Humphreys taking cheap shots against Hunter Renfrow and completely getting away with it. You saw footage circulate the next day after that Week 1 Ravens game. Marlon Humphrey took multiple shots to Hunter Renfrow, not just this clip that we're showing you right here. There were several shots that took place. Jon Gruden even clipped up a compilation of these shots and sent them to the NFL, and the Raiders requested that the NFL discipline Marlon Humphreys. Nothing ever came of that situation. Marlon Humphrey apologized, but got completely away with it. And you have to wonder, if that had been a Raiders player who'd taken some shots, never forget how they banned Vontaze Burfict from the NFL after he was a Raider. So this is another example of poor treatment by the NFL and them not taking our grievances seriously when the penalties are committed in broad daylight. Let's go back to this clip. Not only is this cheap shot happening, but you can see a ref is right there. The ref can see this cheap shot happening and still does nothing about it. It is right in front of them, clear as day. Number 4 on my list is the Darren Waller taunting call, which was complete BS. Keep in mind, the Raiders are 3-0, number 1 in the AFC West, prime time against the Chargers. There was some weird crap going on in that game, not to mention the lightning delay, but also this call. Darren Waller makes a beautiful reception and he spikes it, and even the announcers have a problem with this call.
You know, it is a point of emphasis, but he's not looking at the defender.
The refs tried to claim, oh, he was spiking it in their territory on their bench, but he was nowhere close to their actual bench. And even Jon Gruden took issue with this penalty after the game.
Well, you know, again, I don't believe in taunting. I don't think he taunted either. I thought he was exuberant. I thought he threw the ball down. He's excited. We finally got something going. But the official interpreted it in his own way, and we have to live with it. We just got to show a little bit more composure, and I'm sure Darren feels the same way.
And honestly, every little thing made a difference in that game. We were 21-14 in the fourth quarter. We had a shot to win that game, but that officiating was not okay, and that is a clear example of a bias against the Raiders, especially when you see people like Tyreek Hill throwing up the deuces sign in a game and nothing freaking happens to him. That is the problem with the taunting penalty. You're never going to call it for everybody. You're only going to show favoritism based on who you call it on. Number 3 on my list is this Hunter Renfrow incomplete pass in the Bengals playoff game. This one really pissed me off because I am a big time Hunter Renfrow fan.
Let's go, Renfrow, my favorite white boy.
And this was a close game against the Bengals. It came down to the final minutes, but here was a critical play. Hunter Renfrow makes a big time reception on 3rd down, and it appears that he got 3 feet in bounds. He got 1 foot here, another foot here, and then another, walked for a little bit with the ball and then fumbled the ball out of bounds. However, the refs reversed the call and said it was an incomplete pass, which was complete bogus because he had possession of the football and had 2 feet in bounds. Therefore, it should have been a reception and then a fumble out of bounds. But once again, this is an example where the refs try to help little young Joe Burrow versus the Las Vegas Raiders, and it's BS, and Hunter Renfrow should have had a reception on that play. And number 2 is in this same game. You guys probably know where I'm going with this. It's freaking Whistlegate. There was a bunch of problems with this game. I want to say Jamar Chase pushing off like crazy. He got away with it a ton in this game, but the big one to me, coupled with the Renfrow incompletion, I think this play just set the tone. It set the tone that the refs were not going to let the Raiders win that wild card playoff game against the Bengals. And Whistlegate is a clear indication of that. Joe Burrow looks like he's going out of bounds, throws the football. He does not step out of bounds, and that's what the commentators keep talking about. Oh, did he step out of bounds? No, that was not the problem. The problem is that while the ball is in the air, the referee blows the whistle.
Back in the
This causes people to stop. You have to understand these players are trained that once they hear that whistle, they immediately stop so they do not get unnecessary roughness. And this allowed Boyd to be wide open. Trayvon Merring was in a position to make the play, but the whistle was called at this exact moment, and it led to an easy touchdown. And nobody was even talking about, the announcers on the field weren't even talking about how when the whistle is blown, no matter what, even if it is erroneously blown, that play is considered dead. That is the rule in the NFL, and the NFL should have followed the rules, but they decided not to follow the rules to screw the Raiders and to help little young boy Joe Burrow. Here's my number one thing, and I have to mention Jon Gruden's lawsuit against the NFL. There is going to be a date to hear the motion to dismiss the lawsuit, April 13th. We will be giving you updates on that. And to me, this is the biggest rigged moment against the Raiders, was assassinating the head coach in the middle of a season. And it's not just me who's saying this. You have mainstream sports commentators saying this back when it happened. They've changed their tune since then. But back when the hit job happened, when the emails were released and Jon Gruden was forced to resign as head coach, check out what Mike Florio and Peter King had to say about all this.
The Raiders had other emails on Friday. The NFL sent these other emails to the Raiders, and I think the NFL just kind of took a step back and said, hey, Mark, what are you going to do about this? And it was only after Gruden loudly defended himself and Davis didn't do anything that the league leaked more. The league kept leaking more. This was not the Wall Street Journal and the New York Times scurrying around in dumpsters or hacking computer systems. Someone from the league gave these emails to reporters. I don't know how Andrew Beaton and Ken Belson and these reporters got these emails. I don't know. Come on, Peter. So they handed them to him. They handed them to him. They wanted it out. This is an agenda by the league to take down Gruden, and now they have to be fair as it relates to, as you said, Dan Snyder and possibly others.
What's interesting is you could see that Peter King's view has actually shifted over time. Originally, he was hesitant to say that the journalists at the Washington Post and the New York Times colluded with the NFL. Check out what he was saying here.
The way that it happened should be investigated. The fact that someone had the power to take just a few of those secret emails and bring down an NFL head coach during a season, derailing a team during a season. We hear about competitive integrity all the time, the integrity of the game, the integrity of the season. Somebody had their finger on a button that could take out a coach of an NFL team 5 weeks into a season, and they pressed it, Peter.
If I told you who this was, you would say, oh my God, he said that. An incredibly credible source said to me, this is a mafia hit on Gruden. That's what it is. And you know why it is? Because he never saw it coming. Nobody saw it coming. It happened without warning. And here it was. And Jon Gruden now is most likely ruined for life in the NFL. Who knows? People sometimes have short memories regarding this thing. But I would argue that Jon Gruden is not going to be a head coach in the NFL again. And it happened because somebody, and we don't know who it is, somebody said, why are we going to do this? Because we can. And they did it. And that, to me, it's all, this whole thing is disgusting. The entire thing is disgusting. But the fact that, as Jon Gruden, who had nothing to do with this investigation, had his career ruined because of it.
So what makes the situation so peculiar is that even the insiders, the people who work in the NFL, general managers, other head coaches, people deep in the industry, did not know this hit job was going to happen. That's how you know it had to be a small group, somebody like Roger Goodell. And let us not forget that Roger Goodell is directly mentioned in the lawsuit by Jon Gruden. Jon Gruden specifically names Roger Goodell, and Roger Goodell is technically a defendant. Gruden is suing Roger Goodell and the NFL, so he is directly named. You cannot listen to any fake news out there that is trying to say that this email leak could have been by Daniel Snyder. He is the scapegoat that the NFL is using right now. The person who this is all about, the person who Jon Gruden himself believes is behind these email leaks, is Roger Goodell. So you can see that this is a mob hit and that the NFL worked with the New York Times and the Washington Post to assassinate Jon Gruden from his coaching position. So it's very interesting that you have two people who work for a very large and powerful sports media company, NBC Sports, willing to admit this. So it's really not a fringe idea to believe that this was a hit job. It's just whether or not it's going to be proven in the court of law. But all these signs indicate to yes. Keep in mind that we have never seen one email by Jon Gruden. We have never seen the full email. We have only had hearsay, an article based on what they've seen. A journalist has read an email and seen an email email and said, hey, here's what I saw based on what I read. That's all we have so far on the John Gruden email situation. Who could have possibly given these journalists these emails? It would have to be somebody as powerful as Roger Goodell and the high-ups in the NFL. So now that we have Josh McDaniels, let's see if this season's going to be more fair. We know Bill Belichick and Josh McDaniels aren't banned from the NFL, even though they were guilty of Spygate. So perhaps they're in good graces with the NFL and will have a more successful season this year. Either way, these are my top 5 rig moments of this season. Be on the lookout. We're going to have a part 2 to this video, do some more content like this. We're even going to go back into previous years. If you never want to miss a video by me, make sure you click notifications and turn them on. Ring that bell, turn notifications on to make sure you get every single video we release. So like this video if you watched it all the way through. Subscribe to this channel if you want to see more content like this, more Raiders news and updates as well. My name is WiFiWillie of the Raiders Rundown. Peace out, and you have a good one.